Hey guys, Corey from RPG Off-Road. Today I want to talk to you about the tools necessary for our live valve delete kits. Try to make it really simple for you guys to do the install. Most challenging part of this whole kit is making sure that you discharge the shock appropriately before opening up the shock. You want to make sure that there's no nitrogen pressure inside of it. You don't want to have the shock explode on you. It is pressurized, 200 psi. Okay. So what we have here is just a simple crescent wrench, fitting, the plug, make these in-house, and the socket that is used for the front live valve and the rear live valve. This is what we call our no line loss air control valve. And really simply just an 1/8 of an inch Allen wrench. You will need to have nitrogen. You need to make sure that it has at least 200 psi in it. We just simply have nitrogen pressurized through the shop. Here's the kit that we make. It's got your fittings inside of it, it's got the socket, and it's got the plugs. Let's go ahead and open it. Okay, so inside you have your warning sticker. Caution, shocks are pressurized. Here is your socket, used for the front and the rear. Here are your 4 plugs. Simply transfer over the O-rings. Here are your fittings. There's 4 fittings and 4 caps. Once again, simply transfer over your O-rings. This is the tool that Fox has designed and made to allow people outside of the Fox factory to service their shocks. It has the 1/8 of an inch Allen. It has a Schrader valve. This tool costs about $480. Here we're going to relieve the nitrogen pressure that's inside of the shock. Using 1/8 of an inch Allen. And there's your O-ring. Now that we have discharged the nitrogen from the shock absorber, we're going to go ahead and remove the live valve itself. Okay, this is pretty simple. When you buy your shock kit, it should look something like that. This is the actual solenoid that's charged electronically to move a piston on the inside of it. So what we need to do is we need to pull this assembly out, and we're going to simply put in our plugs. Okay. Take the socket that we have made and supplied for you, put it up and over. Okay. We just use a crescent wrench. You can also use an 1¼ wrench if you wish. Sometimes these are pretty tight, sometimes they are not. All depends on how much Loctite they put on them. We'll see how this one is. I guess this one's pretty loose. Yeah, this one's loose. Okay, so what we're going to do is remove this lock nut. Has some Loctite on it. This one doesn't have much on it at all. This is your nut that holds the assembly in. We're simply going to take this, lift up. Here is your live valve assembly. We're going to remove this O-ring. Simply do this by taking it and squeezing the O-ring. Off it goes. We're going to insert that into the groove on our plug. Okay, and the step will be going upwards. Okay. Try not to lose any oil. If a little bit comes out, that's okay. That's in. Go ahead and apply some Loctite back onto this. Go ahead and give it a good cleaning. You're going to install your nut. Put your socket back on. Go ahead and give it a good tightening then with your 1¼ and/or crescent wrench. Okay. Next, we are simply going to install our fitting that's going to allow us to recharge the shock. Here is our original fitting, our original screw with O-ring. Remove that because you need the O-ring. Set the screw aside. Install the O-ring onto our fitting. Cinch it down just a little bit. and you are done. Now we're going to talk about the rear shocks. This is the same type of valve control system that is on the fronts. Same type of thing. We need to go through, we need to discharge, remove the locking nut, remove the solenoid, install our plug, install our socket. So here we go. First thing first though is we need to remove the nitrogen that's inside of the reservoir. 1/8 of an inch Allen wrench. You'll be able to hear. That's the 200 psi charge that comes stock. Make sure you save your O-ring. Now, the reservoir has been discharged. There's no longer any nitrogen inside the reservoir. We're going to remove this nut. Originally on the front shocks we used this side of the socket. Now with the rears we're going to use the other side of the socket and simply use our crescent wrench on the same flats that we had for the fronts. Some of these are really tight, a lot of Loctite, and some of them are pretty loose. This one was pretty good. You can see how I'm operating crescent. Here we go. We're going to do the same thing as we did with the fronts. Remove the locking ring. Give it a good cleaning before we pull it apart. There's a large washer that we removed that we will be reinstalling. We'll reuse this washer. We'll reuse this O-ring. Notice I haven't lost any oil or just a couple drips. Install O-ring onto our plug. The step goes towards you. Washer like so. A little bit of Loctite on the outside of the nut. Tighten it down fairly tight. Then we're going to install our fitting with the O-ring. Here's our O-ring. Transfer that O-ring over into a fitting. Same type of thing, you're just going to tighten it down a little bit. It doesn't need much. Use our crescent. Now you need to charge it. Now we're going to talk about how to properly pressurize the shock absorbers. Now that you have your fitting, we have a plumbed nitrogen through the shop, and then we have our no line loss air control valve. You can watch a video that we have on just this tool alone, but I'll just describe it quickly. What we have here is a gauge, and that gauge says what amount of pressure is inside of this fitting. You have a conventional Schrader valve on this end, And then this is the really neat part. This screws down onto a Schrader valve. This T-handle pushes a rod in and out, which then opens the Schrader valve that we just installed onto our Fox live valve shocks. Okay, so this is 11/16. Make sure that your T-handle is all the way counterclockwise, meaning the rod is pulled all the way back. We're just going to simply put this now onto the RPG fitting that's on our reservoir end cap. I'll put this over here so you can see what the gauge says. This doesn't have to be very tight. Once again, we're just going to use that crescent. It's 11/16 if you want to use that. Okay. So currently the gauge will say 0. Okay. We're going to add a little bit of air pressure to it, nitrogen pressure to it. Okay, so now you see I've already put about 90 psi into the shock absorber. And I was twisting this rod inward, which is clockwise, until the pressure read on our gauge. Okay, that lets us know that the rod has pushed the Schrader valve in the RPG fitting in far enough so that the valve is now open. We're simply going to return these to the factory pressure of 200 psi. Okay, so the gauge currently reads 210 psi, so we need to remove just a little bit of pressure. So you can use your finger. Okay, the air's coming out. Down until the gauge says 200 psi. There. Now, the reason why we call this a no line loss is, if we were just using a straight tire Schrader valve onto this, you would lose a lot of air pressure and it would not be accurate. So what you simply do is counterclockwise this T-handle until you're all the way at the end. Now watch. All that I have relieved is the nitrogen pressure that's inside of our fitting. This cylinder, the reservoir, still has 200 psi in it. So all I'm simply going to do then is use my 11/16 wrench and loosen this nut and replace the end cap fitting. These no line loss kits are also available on our website. Replace it with your cap. Now your rear shock is pressurized with 200 psi. Do the same process for your front shocks.